Imagine that the greatest tool for protection and spiritual transformation might be sitting right in your kitchen. That's right. Something as simple and often underestimated as salt holds ancient secrets used by cultures and traditions for centuries. What no one ever told you is that this humble mineral carries powers capable of protecting your soul, purifying spaces, and even reversing ancestral curses. Have you ever stopped to think about how such a small crystal could contain such potent energy? What if you knew exactly how and when to use it to protect your home, your family, and yourself from negative influences that may be closer than you think? Before we continue, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on today's journey. It promises to be enlightening, and you won't want to miss out on this life-changing knowledge. Let's dive into the mystery of salt and explore why it's seen as a forbidden spiritual weapon. Believe me, what comes next might just shift your entire perspective on the spiritual world. Since the beginning of time, salt has been an essential part of creation. It's not just a mineral formed by ancient geological processes, it stands as a silent witness to Earth's formation. According to sacred texts, when God separated the waters and brought forth dry land, salt was already present, serving as a physical and spiritual symbol of divine order. Its existence isn't mere coincidence but a tangible representation of purity and balance, a signature of the Creator embedded in matter itself. Like a crystal preserving the integrity of whatever it touches, salt's mission is to prevent both physical and spiritual decay. Just as it preserves food and extends life in the material realm, salt is seen as a guardian of the soul in the spiritual realm, shielding against negative influences and blocking corrupt energies from tainting the human spirit. Is it possible that such common elements around us hold a depth of spiritual meaning that we scarcely imagine? With its role in creation, salt transcends being just a substance. It becomes a powerful metaphor for divine presence, ensuring that the purity and original order of creation endure. And this brings us to the most intriguing question: how has this seemingly simple mineral remained venerated and utilized in so many spiritual traditions over the centuries? Salt appears repeatedly in biblical scriptures, carrying a deep and powerful symbolism. In Numbers 18:19, God establishes a covenant of salt with the Israelites, representing an eternal, unbreakable bond, just as salt is resistant to time and decay. This covenant symbolizes divine faithfulness and protection, a reminder that God's presence and grace are perpetual. Thus, salt is not just a physical element. It becomes a tangible reminder of the eternal covenant between God and His people. Another powerful moment appears in 2 Kings 2 verses 19 to 22, when the prophet Elisha uses salt to purify the contaminated waters of Jericho. The city, once cursed, suffered from infertility and death until Elisha threw salt into the waters and, invoking God's power, turned a source of destruction into one of life. This event is a powerful metaphor. Salt, combined with faith, has the power to purify and renew even that which seemed lost. It wasn't just the mineral working the miracle, but rather divine intent channeled through it, proving that even simple things can become conduits for the sacred. Salt's use in sacred offerings is highlighted in Leviticus 2 verse 13, where God commands that every sacrifice be seasoned with salt. This goes beyond mere ritualistic detail. Salt not only purifies but marks the offerings with the eternal covenant between man and God, ensuring that each act of devotion aligns with divine will. And there's also the example of Genesis 19 verse 26, where Lot's wife turns into a pillar of salt for disobeying God's command. This event is not coincidental. Here, salt symbolizes the cost of disobedience and serves as a physical, eternal reminder of the consequences of resisting divine will. These passages show that in the scriptures, salt is more than just a symbol of preservation. It represents covenant, fidelity, and judgment, acting as a true conduit between the divine and the human. In occult and esoteric traditions, salt is revered for its mystical properties, seen as much more than a simple mineral. It's interpreted as a crystal capable of absorbing, transmuting, and amplifying energies, functioning as a powerful spiritual filter. Its symmetrical crystalline structure symbolizes the order and balance of the universe, making it an essential tool for aligning and harmonizing spiritual environments. It's no wonder that in ceremonial magic, salt is used to create protective circles, isolating the sacred space from the external world. Inside these circles, practitioners find a safe environment, free from malevolent influences, where they can operate spiritually with peace. The power of salt in this context lies not just in its physical presence but in the intention of the person using it, forming an impenetrable spiritual barrier. However, salt also has an ambivalent nature in esoteric traditions, used both for good and for darker purposes. In certain dark magic practices, it's a component in pacts with infernal entities and in casting devastating curses. For example, when combined with blood or specific herbs, salt can strengthen negative rituals, creating powerful bonds between the practitioner and dark forces. But precisely because of its sacred nature, the misuse of salt can backfire on those who wield it improperly. This duality prompts reflection. The same salt that protects and purifies can become an agent of destruction when used with harmful intent. In Kabbalah and other esoteric traditions, salt is seen as a symbol of resilience and immortality, widely employed in rituals of healing and exorcism. It's used to purify bodies and souls tormented by negative influences, restoring the natural balance that has been disturbed. In many pagan cultures, like ancient Greece, salt was offered to the gods as a gift of purity and a plea for blessings and protection. This practice has continued over centuries across different cultures and religions, establishing salt as an essential link between devotion and spirituality. Salt is universally recognized as a channel between the physical and spiritual worlds, capable of preserving, purifying, and, when necessary, destroying. Salt has always played a vital role in purification rituals and spiritual battles throughout history. In times of spiritual crisis, when negative energies seem to peak, salt is used as a powerful shield to protect people, objects, and spaces. One common method is to sprinkle salt in the four corners of a room or residence, creating an invisible circle of protection that prevents malevolent forces from entering the sacred space, isolating it from negative influences. But the effectiveness of this practice doesn't lie solely in the physical act. It's the combination of faith and intention that activates salt's spiritual power, transforming a simple gesture into an act of divine protection. Beyond protecting spaces, salt is widely used to consecrate objects and talismans. Sacred tools, amulets, and even money can be purified with salt, eliminating negative energies that may have been absorbed. This process is essential for ritual objects that need to remain free from malicious influences. When in contact with salt, any object undergoes a kind of spiritual reset, becoming ready to fulfill its sacred purpose. And this leads to an interesting question. Can a single grain of salt truly cleanse accumulated energy? This ancient practice says yes, highlighting the transformative power within each crystal. In more intense cases of spiritual warfare, salt is used to neutralize spells and break curses. For this, salt must be consecrated with prayers or specific rituals, transforming it into a highly effective spiritual tool. A powerful example is the use of salt baths, where a person submerges in consecrated salt water to cleanse their aura and remove negative influences. During the bath, the person visualizes the salt drawing out and dissolving spiritual impurities from their body, strengthening their energetic protection for future battles. These seemingly simple rituals are considered highly effective, especially when performed with faith and conviction. After all, if ancient peoples believed in salt's ability to turn curses into blessings, Why not rediscover this wisdom today? The use of salt as a spiritual element transcends cultures and borders, being revered by various peoples throughout history. In Japan, for example, salt is fundamental in religious and social ceremonies, used to purify spaces and ward off malevolent spirits. An iconic practice can be seen in sumo wrestling, where wrestlers throw salt into the ring before each match. This act symbolizes the spiritual cleansing of the arena, ensuring that the fight takes place in a space free from negative energies. The belief is that salt has the power to harmonize the environment, creating a balanced energy where external forces cannot interfere. Could incorporating such simple practices into our own lives help us bring more balance and protection into our daily routines? In the Middle East, salt is used in friendship pacts and alliances, shared between people as a symbol of a sacred and eternal bond. The tradition suggests that sharing salt with another person seals a spiritual commitment, one that transcends life itself. This pact is considered so binding that breaking it is seen as a serious offense, both spiritually and socially. Here, salt is more than just a physical gift. It's a promise of loyalty and protection that spans generations. This practice encourages us to consider the symbolic gestures in our lives and the deep meanings they may hold. Meanings we may have overlooked or underestimated. In Africa, salt plays an essential role in healing and initiation rituals. Among many tribes, it is regarded as a gift from the gods, used to bless and protect new initiates during spiritual ceremonies. In traditional marriages, for example, the bride and groom share salt as a symbol of a solid and incorruptible union meant to last as long as the mineral itself. Across these cultures, whether in Japan, the Middle East, or Africa, salt is more than just a seasoning. It becomes a bridge between the material and the divine, an element that assures purity, protection, and continuity. In various religious traditions, salt takes on a central role as a symbol of purification and spiritual protection. In Christianity, blessed salt is used in rituals of exorcism, baptism, and blessings as a defense against evil spirits. The belief is that, once blessed, salt becomes a powerful tool for expelling negative influences and protecting the soul. In Catholic rituals, salt is mixed with holy water to create a purifying solution used to bless people, places, and objects. This reinforces the idea that salt, when combined with faith and prayer, becomes a divine shield capable of repelling any evil that threatens the body or spirit. In Hinduism, salt is also important in ceremonies of spiritual cleansing. It is often spread around temples and homes to ward off troubling spirits and attract positive energies. During religious festivals, salt is used to harmonize the environment and restore the inner peace of devotees. This practice reflects the belief that salt has the power to balance the energies of spaces and people, restoring the spiritual harmony necessary for a deeper connection with the divine. The simplicity of this ritual demonstrates how, through everyday gestures, one can align spiritually and reinforce protection against unwanted influences. In the Hebrew tradition, salt is a symbol of purity and covenant, used in consecration ceremonies and sacred offerings. In the Talmud, salt is mentioned as an essential element for purifying objects and places of worship, ensuring they are ready to receive the divine presence. Additionally, the act of dipping bread in salt during meals is a reminder of the divine covenant, an eternal bond between God and His people. This gesture symbolizes the intent to keep one's spiritual life pure and faithful, just as salt preserves the integrity of food. Thus, in these religious traditions, the use of salt is more than a formal ritual. It's a constant reminder of the need to live in alignment with the sacred. In alchemy, salt is one of the three fundamental principles, along with sulfur and mercury, symbolizing the physical body and the crystallization of spiritual energy in the material world. Alchemists believed salt represented fixation, the force that gives shape and structure to chaos, making it understandable and useful. In their experiments, salt went through various purifications, mirroring the alchemist's journey towards spiritual enlightenment. Just as raw salt is refined to become pure and translucent, the human soul can also be transformed and elevated through continuous spiritual purification and self-discovery. In this alchemical context, salt symbolizes not only the preservation of the body but also the immortality of the soul. It's associated with the concept of being the salt of the earth, the vital substance that maintains balance and sustains creation. For alchemists, each process of salt purification was a metaphor for inner development, showing that just as salt can be purified and crystallized, we too can refine our spiritual essence, overcoming limitations and drawing closer to the divine. Beyond external purification, salt is seen as a crucial agent in internal alchemy, the process of spiritual transmutation within each individual. In mystical traditions, it's associated with the spiritual wisdom gained through experience and self-reflection. In this context, salt serves as a purifier of the mind and spirit, allowing the seeker to achieve clarity and deeper understanding of existence. The act of refining salt is a symbolic reflection of the spiritual journey itself. Just as matter is transformed in the alchemist's laboratory, the spirit is transformed through the relentless pursuit of truth and self-knowledge. Enjoyed the video? Let me know in the comments if you were aware of this incredible power salt holds. I'm curious if these practices were new to you. Thanks for watching until the end. Your presence here makes all the difference. Don't forget to share this powerful knowledge with others. Who knows, someone may be needing this spiritual protection right now. And before you go, check out the video popping up on the screen. It's packed with insights to accelerate your evolution and take your spiritual journey to a whole new level. See you there.